The newest chapter in the sex abuse saga involving local televangelist Ernest Angley. Going camping, the buzz out of Indian spring training as things kick off out in Arizona. Have it your way, the fast food philosophy that could be the next multi-million-dollar idea for luxury car brands like Ferrari. And the little girl who wanted to have her birthday party at her local Target store.
From the WKYC studios, this is Front Row.
And we'll take you to that birthday party at that Target store in a couple of minutes. Thanks for joining us. Brand new week. It's Monday night here on Front Row. And as always, we begin with the news of the day. And here she is to present it, Sarah Schuckman.
Yes, it is President's Day. Many of you had a long weekend to celebrate. Hopefully you enjoyed it. We're here. So let's put you in the front row with tonight's top stories. Here's 77 seconds at 7.
A confidential settlement has been reached in a lawsuit against televangelist Ernest Angley. Brock Miller accused Angley of sexual abuse and harassment from the time Miller worked as a pastor at Grace Cathedral in Cuyahoga Falls. A counterclaim by the megachurch denies those allegations. The confidential settlement includes a non-disparagement clause. Outgoing Cleveland Catholic Diocese Bishop Nelson Perez sent Northeast Ohio a special message from his new home. Perez recorded a video message from Philadelphia, where he's preparing to begin a new role as Archbishop. He asked Clevelanders to pray for him as he begins his next phase of service. Democratic presidential hopefuls are focused on Nevada ahead of Saturday's caucuses. Former New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg has a narrow opportunity to make his debate debut Wednesday in Las Vegas. Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos is committing $10 billion to combating climate change. He says the Bezos Earth Fund will support any effort that offers a real possibility to help preserve and protect the natural world. And the Cleveland Browns have cut 4 players. The Browns terminated the contracts of cornerback T.J. Carey, tight end Demetrius Harris, guard Eric Kush, and linebacker Adarius Taylor.
All right, not surprising there. The Browns had $50 million of salary cap money to play with before they made those moves today. But these are not really the big decisions, and there are some big ones coming up. Do they re-sign Joe Schobert, the great middle linebacker of the team? Christian Kirksey has been injured the last couple of years, and before that he was an Ironman. He's had a very, very high number on his contract. Do they part ways with him or bring him back and hope he's healthy? Olivier Vernon, they traded for him last year to be the A and B guy, the other guy on the other side of Myles Garrett to rush the quarterback, but he was injured and it never really materialized. And again, that's a big, big number. So those are the next wave of big moves that could happen.
Things that you're watching for.
Yeah. Would you like to be a moderator on a presidential debate? I think I could make it happen. No, but would you like to be a moderator?
I would. I mean, I think for us professionally, that's sort of some kind of calling card. But
you would really have to do your homework.
It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
It's a hard situation to be in. I think back to the most recent debate that NBC did before this one coming up Wednesday. Remember the technical difficulties they were having with their microphones being open? And I mean, so there's all kinds of things that can go wrong.
Yeah, the candidates couldn't hear them. Right. Wasn't it? Yeah,
and it's hard to win in everybody's thoughts the next day on Twitter. You're doing something wrong one way or the other. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens Wednesday. Of course, Lester Holt's going to be there, Chuck Todd, Hallie Jackson, and whether or not Mike Bloomberg is there is going to be fascinating to me. So they have changed the requirements a little bit so that you don't have to have this donor threshold requirement that they've had in past debates. But there's some thought of, if he qualifies, he's not even part of the Nevada caucuses Saturday, which is the setup for this the debate being in Vegas. So there's not a lot of reason for him to want to be there necessarily, but we'll
at some point, though, he's going to have to get in, and I know he will. I mean, he's spending of his own money.
And his campaign has said if he qualifies based on the new rules, he will be there. He'll debate Wednesday.
Of course, the famous debate thing was right here in Cleveland. Megyn Kelly and then citizen Donald Trump, candidate Donald Trump, and that back and forth that they had that really led to so much, right?
Changed the game, yep.
We will see you in a couple of minutes. Okay. We're heading to Arizona, though, right now. Okay, camping with the tribe. It's time to talk tribe. Spring training is underway in Goodyear, Arizona. Our team is out there too, covering the action. Our pal Super Dave Chudowski joins us live from beautiful Goodyear Ballpark. Super Dave, it's great to have you on the front row. It really is. And tell us what's hot out there other than the weather out there in Arizona.
Well, I have to say, the weather is hot. Jim, it is great to see you and back on the front row, no doubt about it. And we want to give you and everyone at home a front row view of Goodyear and Goodyear Ballpark. Now, the games don't start until Saturday. I know this is going to surprise you. They play the Reds on Saturday. And if you are coming to that game on Saturday or any game at Goodyear Ballpark, we want to show you some of the changes. And the first thing that you will notice, no doubt, is the brand new scoreboard. After 11 years of the same scoreboard, which I don't even remember, and I've been here multiple times, it wasn't memorable, let's be honest. This new video board is 26 feet tall, 52 feet wide, all digital, updated, newest technology. You can see the players' faces when you show them on there and the lineup more clearly. And as I mentioned, it is brand new, replacing that old one. On the first base side, you have an auxiliary scoreboard as well. So those that can't see the big scoreboard or maybe just don't want to look over that direction and want to know the score and how many outs there are and what inning it is, you have a better view. But this is really interesting as well. They've opened up the space. When you walk in on the first base sideline, they've opened up the space to make it more fan-friendly, and they have moved the concessions over. So when you walk in, it's not crowded. If you've been to the ballpark, when you would first walk in, all the concessions would be right there. It would be really tight. So they've really opened it up, so you're going to notice that. And while we are on the theme of food, Jim, there are some new treats here this year, brand new. How about street tacos? New waffle fries, and right here, this helmet, 64-ounce helmet of loaded nachos.
Wow.
What do you think about that?
That's 64 good ounces spent right there. Dave, the hot topic around baseball, protective netting in baseball stadiums. And I know at Progressive Field that is going to happen and around Major League Baseball because of injuries to people watching the game with balls and bats flying in out of the field of play. What about in Goodyear?
Well, as you know, Jim, we like to connect the dots and verify, so I've done that for us here, so I'm glad you asked that. So let's go down a little bit lower here. And right now, the netting is the same as you would typically see at any minor league ballpark or major league ballpark up until now. But I can tell you it is not going to happen just yet. They are in the plans and the talking stages to try to get the netting to come all the way down to here to protect all of the seating here at Goodyear Ballpark. But it won't be happening this year. We'll keep our eyes on that to when they will do it for sure.
All right, let's get a baseball question in. Very interesting day, and you were right there with Francisco Lindor saying that, hey, he wants to win here, which means he wants to stay here. But is it long-term, Dave?
That's the thing, Jim. I mean, it's all about the money and the Dolans. And I mean, can they afford to pay him? I mean, they're saying all the right things, both sides. Chris Antonetti says that Lindor wants to stay. He says he wants to stay. And they both have had talks. And I guess they have been very good talks in the fact that, you know, they're not angry with each other. I mean, the talks are going well. But the problem is at the end of the day, it's about the money. Right. And we're talking, what, $200 to $300 million? I mean, that is not the Indians' MO to pay that kind of money. If they give him that type of money, can they contend to win a championship with the way they operate?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, that's just the start of it. Dave's with us all week long. You haven't lost a step, Dave. I'm telling you, you still got this sports thing down pat. Thanks. It's great having you on the show.
Great to see you, Jim. Thank you.
All right. Super Dave Chudowski. So we're 158 days away from the opening of the Summer Olympic Games in Tokyo. And today, the official motto of the Summer Games was unveiled. United by Emotion is the official motto. And it will be displayed on Tokyo's Skytree, the tallest landmark in the Japanese capital. And they'll keep it up from today until March 25th, the day before that torch relay begins. And speaking of that relay, rehearsals for the all-important Olympic torch relay handoff in Tokyo over the weekend. A Japanese actress performed the first torch kiss handover on Saturday on the outskirts of that city. Crowds lined the streets to see even the simulation in person. The dress rehearsal went over 3 legs of the relay that in reality is going to last for 121 days. And the torch relay begins on March 26th. When we come back, after our first time out, how one high-end car maker is taking its cue from fast food and letting buyers have it their way. But first, the funny accessory to put a little more bark behind your dog's bark. We'll be right back.
Front Row is sponsored by the Calvetta Brothers Floor Show. It's time to fall in love again with your home.
What does it mean to be the best? Best friend, best dad, best at what you do. You bring your personal best to your life, which is why we bring our personal best to you. Mercedes-Benz of Bedford, personal best.
Time now for 3 on 3. Sarah's back, Mike Polk is back, and nobody has played the day of President's Day better than Mike Polk today.
Yes,
True.
I have to hand it to you.
That
I was
really
dressed
was.
as John Adams roller skating at United Skates of America for the station and for America.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I
For
think the
both
people
things.
here at the station are glad that it was in that order.
Absolutely.
Quite a tribute.
And then America. Okay. First up, an 8-year-old girl in Atlanta got exactly the birthday party she wanted at her local Target store. Her aunt tweeted about it over the weekend. The kids enjoyed slushies. They had a scavenger hunt. They even got gift cards to buy one item of their choosing. And then the birthday girl got to check them out when they came to the register. I think that's great.
I want to be
Whatever you want
invited
to do.
this party.
I know, right? What do you got to do to get on that guest
I
list?
know. Where's my invite? That looks like so much fun. If you don't know how to blow an hour in Target, you're doing it wrong.
Exactly.
Why is that? I guess I don't know how to do it. My wife loves going to Target.
There is something magnetic about it.
It has everything,
the
is that
colors
what it
are
is?
there for
Yeah,
some
the colors
reason.
are there.
It's well lit. They've done that well. I like the bathrooms right inside the door there. It's nothing better if you have to use the bathroom than seeing that there's a Target around the corner. You're like, because I know right where it is. I don't have to make eye contact with anybody on the way in there. So that's nice too.
I have to say,
Do
I
you
have
like
noticed
Target?
that of late.
Thank you.
The
Do you like
convenience of the
Target?
restroom. Yes, I do. I love it. I think it's well organized. It's inexpensive, so you feel like you're getting good deals.
Yeah.
You know, that little dollar section towards the
Oh,
front
yeah.
too. You can find all kinds of
How
gems
about
in there.
an 8-year-old girl
Right.
wanted to do that?
I know.
That's great.
Yeah, it's fun. Did you have a birthday party from your childhood? I remember my dad when I turned 10. We all went to. My dad took, and 2 of his goon friends took 10 of us. Imagine this, 10 of us to Municipal Stadium for an Indians game. And this is like
Wow.
Corey
That's
Snyder days, Pat
Oh,
Tabler,
wow.
that kind of thing.
That's a cool
But I will
birthday
always
party.
remember that birthday. Did you either of you have one of those like as a kid that you remember, or no? Have you blocked a lot of it
I
out?
have to be honest, we were not big birthday party people.
No?
Yeah.
You? Did you have one?
I had a cool one when I turned 16. We all went to haunted houses, which was fun.
That's awesome
October
too.
birthday,
And that'll
you know.
you'll always remember that, and that
Yep.
child will always remember going to Target.
See, in our home, we just went to Mass.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
we were Irish
Well, that's
Catholic. We went to
fun.
Mass.
Yeah.
huh?
Congratulations.
Yeah. We would go to Mass and we
Happy
would come
birthday.
home, and what would a good Irish Catholic family do on a Sunday morning after going to Mass?
Yell at each other?
We would go to watch Notre Dame highlights.
I see.
Go
Sure.
right after that.
Well,
Huh? There you
It's
go.
funny, I'm getting the Jim Donovan origin story right here.
When your dog barks, does it ever seem like they're swearing at you? Now you can make that happen for real. A company makes a dog collar that plays a swear word every time your dog barks. It's $60. Currently, it is sold out on
Great
their
deal.
website.
Yeah. I wouldn't want that personally. That seems like, because you would also hear the bark and then you would hear your dog curse at you. I don't see the appeal unless you're buying it for somebody else in your life and pranking them, like
Right.
I will probably do for my sister.
I mean, I do think I can see the creativity in it and why people are drawn to it. Basil would never, though.
No, your dog,
It would,
my
yeah, it would
gosh.
say, it would never
Yes.
be not impolite.
Has Basil had a fleck of any kind of mud or dirt on that beautiful white curly
Oh,
coat?
yeah, she
okay.
loves
The machine would
mud.
ignore Basil, it's so polite. And instead, it would just
No.
say, "Excuse me." Probably.
I'd love to hear
Krispy
that.
Kreme recently wrapped up one of its weirdest annual events, the Krispy Kreme Challenge. It's a 5-mile race where you also have to finish 12 Krispy Kreme donuts over the course of the race. Proceeds raised support the University of North Carolina Children's Hospital, and that's great. This is like one of those old-fashioned pub crawls.
Sure, that's
Yeah,
pretty
right.
much.
Yeah.
Except you really have to run. That's the thing. That's not crawling.
Right.
That's running. I feel like people who are in shape are showing off at this point.
Boy, 12
Do
donuts.
people who are in shape
Running.
enough to run 5 miles want to eat
12
donuts?
donuts? Yeah.
I think that's what I see. I think they're just showing off. Like they're just like, I can carb up on the way or whatever.
Yeah, and you-
just imagine somebody holding, instead of a cup though, like just a cruller to the side
Yeah.
while you're running past.
You don't do like,
Yeah.
the Gatorade kind of cup and toss it.
No,
You-
it's got to like eat a
donut.
cream stick and call
And
it.
again, now the
glazed
rules
donut
are you
face.
have to eat the donut. You can't just carry the donut.
Right.
Okay, so I mean, it's not storing them.
No, it's not. You actually have
You
to eat.
We
the
have the
donuts.
photo of the guy pushing his 2 kids. Maybe that was so he could share the donuts and
you go.
not
Right.
have to
I
do
want
it
to
all
see
himself.
Coors Light try something like this next year. Personally.
All right, that does it for Monday's 3 on 3.
Happy President's Day.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Happy President's Day to Matt Wentz. Hey, Matt.
Well, hi there, guys. Happy President's Day to you. Big day, obviously.
Get to Mass.
Tomorrow, just going to be a big letdown. A big letdown tomorrow. What's not a letdown are our sunset times. Real quick, in 3 weeks, our sunset right now will not have happened yet. We're talking a close to 7:30 sunset 3 weeks from now. We are there. I mentioned this Sunday, we have made it through winter, Northeast Ohio. Not quite yet. Rain on the move tonight. We've got rain that'll continue to increase across the area. And as that rain moves in, we've got some cooler spots out towards Geauga, Ashtabula County, areas of Lake County. May see a little bit of wet snow at the onset of that. Also out towards Sandusky, perhaps some wet snow mixing in, but overall not expecting anything in terms of accumulations. Here comes the storm system, though. It's not really that potent. A little bit of moisture with it, though. This will overspread the rain. You can see actually radar indicating a little bit of snow out towards Ashtabula County, a little bit out towards the lake as well. Most of us will be rain tonight, and you can see as we go through time, we're dealing with a lot of moisture that'll be moving in here, but we're expecting mainly rain out of this. And once that moves through, we talk colder air off to the north. This will sink south once that system comes through, and there's quite a bit of it. This isn't going to be a direct hit, but Wednesday night and Thursday, we turn from a rather mild air mass, especially today, where we made it up into the mid-40s, and we're going to cool that down a little bit on Thursday. So tonight, temperatures going up as that low pressure pulls in warmer air. The rain will continue, winds picking up as well towards daybreak. You should start your Tuesday, I think, with temps in the mid-40s. Should be a balmy start tomorrow. You can see hour by hour forecast showing the same thing. We've got these waves of rain overnight tonight. Most of it coming to an end tomorrow morning, mainly down to the south and east. Temperatures, though, mild to start your Tuesday. A front comes in, kicks off a couple more showers midday, and then temperatures start to go down. Not a sharp crash with that, but we'll be back in the 30s by evening, and eventually we'll clear those skies out, and that will usher in some of that colder air on Wednesday, Thursday. So here's what it looks like. Dropping temps tomorrow, the rain around, and then we go dry after that. We're talking maybe some lake effect flurries as we go 30s, even 20s on Thursday, but wall-to-wall sunshine Friday, and Saturday looks sunny too. Temperatures up into the 40s. We're shaping up for a nice-looking weekend around here. I know it's only Monday. We'll be right back.
One of the great annual events of winter, the Cleveland Auto Show, is now just a couple of days away. And elsewhere in the auto industry, there are some very big headlines today. And here they are. General Motors has announced that it is pulling out of Australia, New Zealand, and Thailand entirely. To go with it, GM is retiring its Holden brand, a 160-year-old brand that is credited with creating the Australian auto industry. General Motors' Australian division is credited with bringing models like the Pontiac GTO, G8, and Chevy SS to market. When folks go to the auto show, one of the favorite spots to visit is Millionaire's Row, the ultra luxury and ultra exotic cars, like a Ferrari. Any average millionaire, or billionaire for that matter, can buy one. But for the ultra rich, that isn't always enough. So Ferrari had to find a new way to draw in those high-end customers. CNBC's Robert Frank has your front row to what most of us can only dream about.
For today's wealthy, buying a Ferrari isn't quite special enough. They want a Ferrari that's made just for them, which is why Ferrari's profits are soaring with help from its customization program, where customers can pay an extra $100,000 or more to customize their rides. They spend half a day in a special Ferrari design center with a personal designer picking out their own fabrics, wheel treatments, metal finishes, stitching threads, brake calipers, and shifting paddles. They can even have their names inscribed in the interior and create one-of-a-kind paint colors, which are then displayed on Ferrari's famous color wall.
Customization for us is extremely important in order to increase the customer satisfaction. It's a way to engage clients and having them happy and coming back again.
Now, wealth alone can't get you a tailor-made Ferrari. You have to apply and get accepted. Ferrari only makes about 200 tailor-made cars a year out of a total production of about 9,000. Ferrari had 2 tailor-made studios, one in Maranello, Italy, where Ferrari is based, and the other in Shanghai. But they were so overbooked that it just opened a third in Manhattan, where we got an exclusive tour. I tried my hand at creating a customized version of their latest model, the 812 GTS, which starts at $398,000. By the time I added a special blue paint, racing stripe, red seats, and a special badge with my name inscribed, the price was $500,000. What have you ever said no to?
Oh, several times. We had to say no. Let's say that if the color is a pink color with cartoons on the shield of the car, on the bonnet of the car, is something that we don't want to do.
Proof that at least when it comes to Ferraris, money can't always buy you everything. Robert Frank, CNBC Business News.
And when we come back, we wrap up the Monday edition of Front Row after our final timeout.
Here's what's coming up tonight on 3. Trust the experts at Stanek Windows. We make the process easy. No hassles, no middlemen. Just beautifully crafted quality windows built to last. Call us today.
Well, it was a packed show. Thanks for being with us on this Monday, on this President's Day. If you had the day off, back to work tomorrow. And then come on back and join us tomorrow, too. Entertainment Tonight is coming up next. Russ and Sarah, and we'll all be back at 11 o'clock. So make it a good Monday night, everybody. Have a good one.
Thank you for spending the evening with 3 News. Watch us live wherever you are, on our website, on our apps, and on YouTube, Hulu, or Roku. It's 3 News, wherever, whenever.